Welcome back to the BookCast. Today we are unpacking every layer of the incredible novel, The Call of the Wild. Get ready for a deep dive into its characters, themes, and the hidden meanings behind the story. We're about to embark on an extraordinary journey, really, not just across the frozen north, but deep into the very essence of what it means to be wild. At its heart, this is the tale of a remarkable dog named Buck, and we'll trace his incredible transformation. He goes from this, pampered, aristocratic pet to a creature driven by pure primal instinct. It's quite a ride, I promise you. It'll challenge your perceptions of nature, civilization, and just the indomitable spirit of life itself.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating about London's work here is how he masterfully blends that thrilling adventure with really profound philosophical questions. He doesn't just, tell a survival story.
Yeah.
He plunges us into this deep, almost archetypal psychological journey that Buck undertakes. It's powerful stuff. An exploration of adaptation, the brutal, unyielding lessons of nature, and, the raw, untamed forces that, as London suggests, lie dormant beneath even the most polished veneer of civilization. As we explore Buck's story, you might find yourself questioning what truly separates us from the wild, and how quickly can those lines blur when it's all about survival.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Before all the ice and the struggle, there was sunshine, right? Buck's story kicks off in this, it's basically paradise.
Yeah.
Judge Miller's huge estate in the Santa Clara Valley, sun-kissed, idyllic. And Buck himself, he's this magnificent animal, 140 pounds, a mix of St. Bernard and Scotch Shepherd, born into royalty, practically. This whole place, it was his kingdom. He was, the king over everything. At least that's how he saw it.
Mm-hmm. An aristocratic existence, total ease, privilege, but he wasn't lazy. That's key. He wasn't just some decorative pet. He was active, swimming with the judge's sons, going on hunts.
Right, escorting the daughters on walks like this dignified guardian.
Yeah.
And he'd let the grandsons ride on his back, guard them near the stables.
Yeah, and he kind of lorded it over the other dogs, didn't he? The fox terriers, he just stalked among them. And those little house dogs, Toots and Isabeau.
Totally ignored them.
Yeah.
Complete disdain. His was this active outdoor life, which ironically kept him fit, hardened his muscles.
Exactly. That physical capability built in paradise becomes crucial for his survival later. And London really emphasizes this contrast, doesn't he? This perfect beginning makes the fall, the plunge into the primitive, so much more dramatic.
It really does. You understand just how far he travels, not just in miles, but psychologically.
And that idyllic life, London shows us how fragile it is. What happens next isn't just a location change for Buck. It's a brutal, sudden stripping away of everything. And it's driven by human greed. You have to remember the context. The Klondike Gold Rush. Autumn 1897. It was madness. Everyone needed strong dogs, heavy dogs with thick coats, just like Buck.
Ah, right. The demand was huge.
Astronomical. And that's where Manuel comes in, one of the gardener's helpers. He's got this gambling problem. The Chinese lottery believes in his system.
Oh, never ends well.
Exactly. Wages don't cover it. Family needs money. Debt's piling up. And he looks at Buck, this valuable dog, and just sees quick cash.
So he sells him, just like that.
Pretty much. One night, Judge is away. The boys are busy. Manuel takes Buck for a walk down to this little flag station, College Park. There's a stranger waiting, prearranged.
Wow. The betrayal.
Cold cash exchanges hands. Manuel gets $100, apparently, ties a rope around Buck's neck. Buck, trusts him at first, thinks it's odd, but okay. Then the stranger tightens it.
And Buck fights back.
Oh yeah, pure rage. He springs at the man, but the guy's experienced. Chokes him, throws him, chokes him again until he passes out. Shoves him into a baggage car. It's brutal. London showing how easily established order, trust, it all collapses under human self-interest. Buck's path just took a sharp, terrifying turn.
And that's just the start of the nightmare, really. He wakes up on the train, hurting, confused, but furious. The unbridled anger of a kidnapped king. He attacks again, gets choked out again.
Mm-hmm. The kidnapper later shows off his mangled hand, complaining he only got $50 for headphone. Buck wouldn't do it again for $1,000. He even has to file off Buck's collar, severing that last link to his old life.
2 days and nights in that crate. No food, no water, just rage turning into this cold fury. The train workers taunt him.
Which just fuels his anger more. But he makes this resolution, doesn't he? They'd never get another rope around his neck. He's changing already, becoming this raging fiend.
Totally unrecognizable. So he finally gets to Seattle, carried in his crate to this walled yard. And that's where he meets the man of the red sweater.
Ah, yes, a pivotal figure. Buck knows this is the next tormentor, attacks the crate bars. The man just smiles, gets a hatchet, and crucially, a club.
The club. That's the key lesson here.
Absolutely. The man pries the crate open, says, "Now, you red-eyed devil." And Buck launches himself. 140 pounds of pure fury. He'd never been hit with a club before.
The shock must have been immense.
Terrible. Knocked down repeatedly, bleeding, then a deliberate blow to the nose, exquisite agony. He roars like a lion, charges again. The man catches his jaw, wrenches him, sends him crashing. Finally, this one calculated blow, and Buck's out cold.
But London makes a point here, right? He's beaten but not broken.
Exactly. Beaten, yes. Broken, no. He learns the lesson. A man with a club is a lawgiver, a master to be obeyed. Not necessarily liked, but obeyed. He sees other dogs, some groveling, one killed for disobeying. Reinforces the reality.
And that latent cunning starts to awaken, that instinct for survival.
It's stirring. So eventually he's sold again, this time to Perrault, the courier, and Francois, the dog driver. Fair masters, wise about dogs. Buck respects them, learns that respect here is earned through mastery, not just, kindness.
And then the journey north starts for real. On the ship, the Narwhal. He meets Curly, the Newfoundland, Dave, the quiet one, and Spitz.
Ah, Spitz, the treacherous white-lead dog, right away steals Buck's food, foreshadowing much.
Definitely. And Buck sees snow for the first time, thinks it's mud, licks it, it bites like fire. The onlookers laugh.
A stark contrast to his pampered past. That moment, that simple misunderstanding, it really highlights how alien this new world is to him. He's entered the primitive.
Yeah, no turning back now.
Indeed. And Daya Beach, where they land, it's not just a place, it's a crucible. Instantly strips away any remaining civility, no peace, no rest, just constant shock. The only law, the law of club and fang.
It hits him hard, right?
Yeah.
Through Curly.
Devastatingly. Curly, good-natured, friendly, approaches a husky. No warning, just a flash of teeth, her face is ripped open. And then, it's not a fair fight. 30, 40 other huskies swarm in, silent, circling, waiting.
Well, that's horrific.
It is. When she falls, they're on her instantly, tore her to pieces in minutes. Pure savagery. And Buck sees Spitz kind of licking his chops, laughing in his own way. Francois has to beat the pack off with a club.
That must have burned itself into his brain.
Absolutely. Teaches him the fundamental rule. No fair play. Once down, that was the end of you. And that's when the deathless hatred for Spitz truly begins. It forces Buck to accept the Northland's terms. No illusions left. London's naturalism is stark here. Survival leaves no room for sentiment.
So adaptation becomes immediate. The harness training. That must have been humiliating for him.
Initially, yes. A blow to his dignity, being treated like a work animal.
Yeah.
But he's smart. Doesn't rebel openly, learns fast. Francois's whip is firm but fair. Dave, the wheeler dog, nips him when he messes up.
Nudges him into line.
Right. And Spitz, the leader, gives sharp reproof, uses his weight to guide Buck, always asserting dominance. Buck picks up the commands, ha, mush, quickly, learns the sled work.
And then more dogs join the team, adding to the mix.
Yeah, complex dynamics. You get Billy, who's super good-natured, always whining for kindness. And his brother, Joe, totally opposite, sour, snarling, resists Spitz.
And Solex, the angry one.
Right. Scarred old husky, wants to be left alone. Especially don't approach his blind side. Buck learns that the hard way, quickly. It's this whole social web he has to navigate, just as important as the trail itself.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. Buck starts unlocking these ancient instincts, things buried deep inside him.
The first night, freezing outside the tent, he figures out how the others survive. He sees Billy digging a hole in the snow.
Copies them.
Yeah, burrows down, and his body heat makes it snug, warm, survival 101. But then there's that deeper thing, waking up buried, that sudden fear of the wild thing for the trap.
That wasn't his fear, though, was it?
No, that's London's point. It's ancestral memory. From his forebears. A sign of that deep, atavistic connection re-emerging. Powerful stuff.
And the hunger. Constant hunger. That changes him, too.
Dramatically. He loses all his fastidiousness, no more leisurely dining like at Judge Miller's. You eat fast, gulp it down, defend it, or it's gone.
And then he learns to seal.
Which is huge. He watches Pike, the clever thief, swipe some bacon. Next day, Buck does the same, gets away with a whole chunk. Poor Dub gets blamed.
Huh. So the text actually says this theft makes him fit to survive.
It does. It marked Buck as fit to survive and, crucially, marked the decay or going to pieces of his moral nature. London calls that morality a vain thing and a handicap in the ruthless struggle for existence.
Wow. That's a stark perspective.
It really is. And it leads to that key question. Is this decay a tragedy, or is London framing it as necessary, even a kind of triumph in this environment?
So it's not a moral failing in our terms.
Not in London's naturalist view. It's adaptation. Essential for survival where club and fang rule. Things like private property, feelings handicaps here. Buck doesn't reason it out, he just adjusts. He steals from hunger, does it cunningly, respecting the power of club and fang. It's environment-shaping character stripping away the non-essential.
And physically, he transforms just as fast.
Incredibly, muscles like iron, callous to pain, develops this amazing metabolism, gets nutrition from anything, sight, scent, hearing razor sharp. He can even predict the wind.
Learns those little survival tricks too, like biting ice from his paws, breaking ice for water.
Small things, but vital. But the biggest symbol of this rewilding, it's the howling.
Ah, yes. The wolf howl.
Pointing his nose at a star, letting out that long and wolf-like howl. Linton says it's not just him, it's his ancestors, dead in dust, howling through him. Their cadences, their woe, the meaning of the cold, the dark, the ancient song surged through him.
He's coming into his own again.
Exactly. It's a profound ancestral awakening. Civilization was just a thin layer. The wildness underneath is resurfacing, powerful and irresistible.
So as Buck gets stronger, that dominant primordial beast inside him really starts to surface. The conflict with Spitz becomes inevitable, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Initially, Buck's clever enough to avoid direct confrontation. He's patient, calculating. Spitz sees it as timidity, maybe, but it's strategy. Still, Spitz keeps pushing, snarling, bullying.
And that truce finally breaks at Lake LaBarge.
Yeah, the nest incident. Buck digs himself a nice warm spot, goes to eat, comes back. Spitz is in it, a direct challenge. Buck snaps, attacks with this fury Spitz hasn't seen before.
But then they get interrupted.
By something worse. 40, 50 starving huskies raid the camp. Just skeletons, but hunger-mad, terrifying, total chaos. Buck gets ripped up, Joe loses an eye.
And Spitz.
Ever the opportunist. Attacks Buck from the side during the confusion. Cowardly, but effective. That cements Buck's hatred, makes the final showdown unavoidable. They barely escape loose supplies. It's pure, raw survival.
So after that, it's open war between them.
Pretty much. Then there's the incident with Dolly going mad, chasing Buck. Francois has to kill her. Spitz attacks the exhausted Buck again.
But Francois sees it this time.
He does, and
Okay.
gives Spitz the worst whipping any dog on the team had gotten. From then on, the gloves are off. Spitz feels his leadership threatened by this strange Southland dog, and Buck, he wants that leadership. He feels it's his by right, driven by that pride of the trail and trait.
Deep instinct to lead the pack.
Exactly. So Buck starts this calculated campaign of messing with Spitz's authority.
How does he do that?
He interferes when Spitz tries to punish other dogs, like Pike for stealing, or Dove and Joe when they fight Spitz. He gets between them, develops this defiant swagger.
Undermining him.
Totally. Leads to general insubordination. The whole team starts bickering, becomes inefficient. Francois tearing his hair out, knows a deadly fight is brewing.
Which brings us back to that idea. Civilization just suppresses these primal urges, right? They're always there.
London definitely suggests that. Given the right pressure, they explode. Even on the record run to Dawson, the team's falling apart internally because of Buck's revolt against Spitz.
And the breaking point, the full emergence of that dominant primordial beast, is the rabbit chase.
The snowshoe rabbit chase near the Taquina, perfect scene. Rabbit bolts, the whole team plus 50 other dogs give chase. Buck's leading, pure bloodlust, the ecstasy of the hunt.
It feels connected to something ancient.
Deeply. The womb of time. His true wolf self-surfacing, but Spitz. Cold, calculating Spitz. Cuts across a bend, intercepts the rabbit, kills it right in front of Buck.
Steals the victory. Reasserts dominance.
Exactly. And that's the final spark. Buck slams into Spitz, it's on, to the death. Spitz is a practiced fighter, uses standard attacks. But Buck has.
Imagination.
Yes. He fakes his usual move, then sweeps low, breaks Spitz's left foreleg, does it again, breaks the right. Pure, calculated devastation.
Scribbles him.
Completely. Spitz is helpless. That wolfish circle of waiting dogs closes in. Buck knows mercy doesn't exist here. A final blow, and Buck stands there. The successful champion, the dominant primordial beast who had made his kill and found it good. Spitz disappears into the pack. Buck has claimed his place.
Wow. What a scene.
Yeah.
So the next morning, Francois finds Spitz gone, Buck covered in wounds.
And he knows. That Buck two devils, he says. Perot sees the damage, admits Spitz fought like hell. Francois corrects him. And dat Buck fight like two hells. He knows now things will run smoothly. No more Spitz, no more trouble.
But Buck doesn't just wait to be put in charge, does he?
Not a chance. Francois tries to put Solex in the lead spot. Buck's having none of it. springs on Solex, drives him back, takes the position himself,
Francois tries to stop him.
tries to drag him away, yells at him. Buck growls, remembers the club, but this time he's smarter. He retreats, circles, dodges every attempt to club him. He's not running away, he's making a stand. Open revolt, demanding the leadership he won.
For almost an hour.
Yeah, they chase him, throw clubs, curse him. Buck just waits. Makes it clear, give me what I want and I'll cooperate. Finally, Perrault tells Francois, throw down the club. Francois does. Buck walks in, laughing triumphantly, takes his place. He won mastership on his own terms.
And he turns out to be a better leader than Spitz.
Immediately superior. Better judgment, quicker action. He whips the unruly team back into shape fast, shakes up Pike, the loafer, smothers Joe, the sour one, until he submits. Restores that hold-time solidarity.
Gets them working as a unit again.
Like a machine. Breaks in the new dogs, Teak and Kuma, instantly. Earns massive respect from Francois, who's raving about him being worth $1,000. And they prove it on that record run back to Skagway, 40 miles a day for 14 days straight. Unbelievable. All thanks to Buck. And it's interesting, isn't it, how his past memories shift. After that run, Francois and Perrault are gone, sold off. Buck gets a new driver, a Scotch half-breed running the mail train. Heavy, monotonous work.
But he still takes pride in it, enforces discipline.
Absolutely. Consolidates his dominance. But those memories of Judge Miller's place, they get dimmer, dreamlike. What stays vivid? The man in the red sweater, Curly's death, the fight with Spitz, the brutal lessons.
And those visions of the hairy man.
They become more frequent. That primitive ancestor, living in fear, always watchful, represents that deep, inherited wildness surfacing. It's atavism, those ancient traits bubbling up. He'd be by the fire, see this figure, hear the beasts in the darkness. It connects him to something ancient.
A powerful pull. And during this time, poor Dave.
Ah, Dave. Yeah, that's tragic. He gets some internal injury, he's in agony, but his pride of trace and trail is absolute. Refuses to be unharnessed.
He fights to get back in the harness.
Desperately.
Yeah.
Even bites through Solex's traces to take his spot. The drivers, they understand. They compassionately let him die, pulling, heart easy and content. They hear the revolver shot later, every dog knew. A really poignant moment about the harshness, the loyalty, the dedication of these animals.
Just heartbreaking, which sets up the next stage. The team is completely worn out when they get back to Skagway.
Wretched. Absolutely depleted. Buck's down 25 pounds. The others even more. Footsore, no energy left. They've done 2,500 miles in under 5 months with almost no rest. They are literally running on empty, just shells of their former selves.
Ready for a long rest, you'd think.
You'd think, but no. Orders come to sell them. The Klondike demand is so high, even broken dogs fetch a price, and they get bought for a song by, well, the worst possible owners.
Al, Charles, and Mercedes.
The trio from the States. London paints them as completely clueless, manifestly out of place, total callowness. Hal with his useless belt of cartridges, their camp a disorganized mess.
Mercedes just chattering away and moving stuff back and forth on the sled.
Zero common sense. Locals warn them. Sled's overloaded, dogs are exhausted, they ignore it completely. Arrogant ignorance.
And the dogs just can't move the sled at first.
Nope, too heavy, and the runners are frozen stuck. Hal immediately resorts to the whip. Brutal. Mercedes tries to intervene, then gives in. Finally, someone tells them to break out the runners.
Which they do, and
The overloaded, poorly packed sled immediately tips over, scattering everything. The dogs bolt, dragging Hal. It's chaos. A public spectacle of incompetence. A critique from London, for sure.
and their journey just goes downhill from there.
Rapidly. They can't manage basic camp life. Takes ages to set up, ages to break camp. They overfeed the dogs initially, wasting food, then drastically underfeed them when supplies run low. Trade a gun for frozen horse hide the dogs can't even eat.
Just disaster after disaster. The dogs start dying off.
The outside dogs first, then Dub is shot. Kuna killed with an axe. Only Buck, Joe, Pike, Solex, and Teak are left, just perambulating skeletons.
The humans are falling apart too.
Totally. Constant quarreling between Hal and Charles.
Yeah.
Mercedes stops crying for the dogs, just cries for herself, insists on riding the sled, adding 120 pounds to the dying dog's burden. They become utterly callous.
But Buck, his heart is unbreakable. That lesson from the red sweater.
Still holding him together. He's a skeleton, bruised, matted with blood, but something inside won't quit.
Which brings us to John Thornton's camp, the pivotal moment.
Right. They stagger in. Spring is coming, ice is thawing, but they're oblivious, heading towards death. The dogs collapse. Thornton's there, whittling. He calmly warns them. The ice ahead is rotten. Wouldn't risk my carcass on it.
Hale ignores him.
Completely. Sneers, insists they'll push on, tries to get the dogs up. They struggle, yelping, falling. But Buck doesn't move.
He senses it.
The danger.
An intuitive, impending doom. He felt the rotten ice. He refuses. Hal beats him relentlessly with the club. Buck barely feels it. The spark of life flickered and went down. He's almost gone.
Until Thornton steps in.
Suddenly, like an animal cry, Thornton springs on Hal, throws him back, threatens to kill him if he hits Buck again, disarms Hal when he pulls a knife. Then, 2 quick strokes, cuts Buck's traces, frees him.
And Hal, Charles, and Mercedes.
Stubborn, blind to the end, they push onto the ice with the remaining dogs. Buck and Thornton watch as the whole section gives way. They vanish. The bottom had dropped out of the trail. Buck is saved. A new chapter begins, which raises that fascinating question. Can love, like the love Buck finds with Thornton, coexist with that wild instinct he now embodies? It's a central tension. Buck recovers at Thornton's camp, gets good care, meets Skeet, the Irish setter who licks his wounds.
It's like a little doggy doctor.
Exactly. And Nig, the big, good-natured black dog, and, crucially, no jealousy. They share Thornton's kindness. Thornton himself plays with them. Buck experiences warmth he hasn't felt since the judge's place.
And this is where he feels genuine, passionate love for the first time.
Yes. Not partnership, not guardianship, but adoration.
Yeah.
Feverish, burning love. Thornton is the ideal master. Cares for them not out of duty, but because he has to. Talks to them, uses rough love names.
Treats them like individuals.
Right. Buck's greatest joy is that rough affection, and his way of showing it back. That feigned bite, seizing Thornton's hand, pressing hard, leaving teeth marks. A profound caress. But mostly, he just watches Thornton, adoringly, always afraid he'll leave, like the others did.
So let's unpack that paradox. He loves Thornton deeply, this civilizing force.
Yeah.
But the wildness is still there.
Intensely active, pulled in 2 directions. Totally faithful to Thornton, wouldn't steal from him, but from anyone else. Still a cunning thief, still lives by the law of club and fang, fights mercilessly, knows mercy did not exist in the primordial life.
Kill or be killed, eat or be eaten.
That's the mandate. He's a thing of the wild, come in from the wild to sit by John Thornton's fire, and always those shades of all manner of dogs, wolves, wild wolves behind him, prompting, calling him to the forest. The call is persistent.
And this tension plays out in those incredible feats of loyalty. The jump element.
Unbelievable. Thornton, just on a whim, tells Buck to jump off a 300-foot cliff. Buck doesn't hesitate. Absolute obedience born of love. Thornton grabs him back, horrified at himself. Hans and Pete are terrified, but they see Buck's devotion.
Then saving Thornton from Black Burton.
In the saloon, Burton strikes Thornton. Buck attacks, tears Burton's throat, establishes his fearsome reputation across Alaska. He's Thornton's protector.
And the Rapids rescue? That sounds terrifying.
40-Mile Creek. Thornton's swept away in water no swimmer could live in. Buck just launches himself in, again and again, fighting the current, gets swept away himself, comes back, finally saves Thornton. Breaks 3 ribs doing it. Self-sacrificing love and sheer power. Which leads us to maybe the most iconic display of that bond. The 1,000-pound pull bet.
The El Dorado saloon scene. Thornton boasts Buck can pull 1,000 pounds.
Starts a sled frozen fast, pulls it 100 yards. Mathewson, the Bonanza King, calls him on it. Slams down $1,000 in gold dust.
Thornton doesn't actually have the money, right?
Nope. Moment of doubt. But his friend Jim O'Brien lends it to him, even though he doesn't really believe Buck can do it. The sled is loaded with flour sacks, runners frozen solid. Odds are stacked against them, 3-1.
The whole town comes out to watch.
Everyone. Thornton kneels by Buck, doesn't roughhouse him this time, whispers, "As you love me, Buck. As you love me." Buck whines, understands, grips Thornton's hand in that feigned bite. A promise.
And then the commands. Gee! Buck lunges right, breaks the right, runner free.
Yeah.
Oh, lunges left, breaks the left. The crowd gasps.
You can feel the tension. Then Thornton yells, "Now, MUSH." Buck throws everything into it. Muscle straining, feet digging, sled lurches, starts moving, gains momentum.
He makes it, the 100 yards.
He does. The crowd goes wild. Thornton's overcome, hugging Buck, crying, cursing him lovingly. Someone offers $1,200 for Buck right there. Thornton's response, "Go to hell, sir." Unbreakable bond. Peak loyalty, even as the wild calls louder.
So that prize money, the $1,600, it funds their ultimate adventure, doesn't it? The search for the lost mine.
Exactly. Thornton, Hans, and Pete head into the east, off the map, chasing this legendary mine shrouded in mystery and tragedy. A journey into the truly untamed wilderness.
And their life becomes completely self-sufficient out there. Hunting, fishing, wandering.
Weeks on end. Sometimes hungry, sometimes feasting. Buck doesn't have much sled work, mostly just hauls meat. Spends hours by the fire, just being.
And those visions of the hairy man get stronger.
More frequent, clearer.
Yeah.
That primitive ancestor living in fear, hypervigilant, almost arboreal. And the call from the forest gets louder too, this deep resonance filling him with unrest and strange desires pulling him. His hunting skills become incredible stalking squirrels just for the mastery of it.
He's seeking the source of the call.
Instinctively. Then one night he hears it clearly, a long-drawn howl, different, familiar, follows it, finds a timber wolf.
Wow, brother.
They meet cautiously, touch noses, recognition. Buck runs with him, wildly glad, feeling those old memories coming upon him fast, knowing he's done this thing before, ancestral recall hitting hard.
But he goes back to Sorton. The pull is still strong.
For a moment, returns in a frenzy of affection, stays close for 2 days, but the call becomes more imperious than ever. He gets restless, starts sleeping out, hunting for days, kills a bear solo, scatters wolverines. He's becoming a full-fledged predator, and physically, he's completely transformed now, right? Symbolizing that final reintegration.
Absolutely. Gigantic, wolf-like, brimming with vigor and virility, every hair electric, lightning fast, a formidable creature, perfectly adapted. The last tie is just Thornton, and then the tragedy that breaks that tie, he returns to camp, sensing disaster.
That premonition of calamity. Finds Nig dead, Hans dead, arrows, then the lodge destroyed. Finds Skeet dead by the pool, where Thornton's scent, his trace, ends.
He knows. Thornton's gone.
A great void opens up. Pure, aching loss. Then terrible ferocity. He attacks the Yeehats responsible, rips throats a live hurricane of fury, a fiend incarnate, drives them screaming into the woods. They'll call him the evil spirit forever. He hunts them down relentlessly until he's weary. Returns, confirms Pete is dead, follows Thornton's trace into the pool. It stops there. John Thornton is dead. The last tie is broken. Man no longer binds him.
The transition is absolute.
Complete. And that night, the wolf pack comes. He hears their calls. The boldest challenges him. Buck, with deadly efficiency, breaks its neck, fights off 3 more, establishes dominance instantly.
They recognize his power.
They do. Then the wild brother approaches. They touch noses. An old, scarred wolf comes forward. They acknowledge each other. The old wolf howls at the moon. The pack joins in. And Buck, feeling the call fully now, sits and howls with them. He's joined the pack, running side by side with his wild brother, home.
Giving rise to the legend.
The enduring legend of the ghost dog among the Yeehats. They see changes in the local wolves, brown markings, white streaks, Buck's legacy. They fear him. He's too cunning, raids their camps, kills their dogs. Hunters vanish. They avoid that valley. But every summer, a magnificent wolf visits the spot near the Yellow Stream, howls mournfully for the man he loved, and in winter, he leads the pack, singing the song of the younger world, the ancient song of the wild. Buck has answered the call. Become legend.
And there you have it. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us in this story. If you enjoyed it, a simple like or subscribe helps the channel out more than you know. Be good and take care.
Buck's incredible journey takes him from, the height of human civilization, such as it was, right back to the primal wild. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? In our own lives, with all our comforts, our routines, our technology, how much of that wild, untamed spirit still lives inside us, just waiting, perhaps, for its own kind of call to sound?